I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with a 3-minute cattle market update for Friday, December the 16th, where we're right on the eve of the holiday shutdown here, and it seems like your cattle markets are really planing out here. So, which bodes pretty well as we're going into some uncertain times there, and most of your cash markets will be shut down. Your futures markets will be really slow, and we just we keep thinking back to years ago whenever we had the cow that stole Christmas, and everybody gets really nervous going into the holidays, wondering what's going to happen on the other side. But it's just looking like we're planing out here and probably be just fine. Look at the board on live cattle. February contract Wednesday was down 27 cents, Thursday was down 42, but not a big deal. Ending the day on Thursday with February at 113.27. December spot fats at 110.72, which is very close to what your cash market is on light trade this week. Look at your feeder cattle. January contract Wednesday was down $1.27, but then Thursday was steady or unchanged there to end the day on Thursday with January at 127.70. Like I said, on the fats, we've had some real light trade. On Wednesday there, right after that online sales there, they had some negotiated sales, and they were steady to mostly $1 higher, from 110 to 111.50, but mostly at 111, so that'd be your buck higher right there. But not a whole lot of trade. The mandatory reporting only picked up a little over 5,000 so far for the week, so haven't had very much trade, hardly at all, and not even sure if we'll even see much trade to end this week. I'm sure we'll probably see some more trade Friday, but you know, these packers have got captive supplies, probably enough to get them through the shortened holiday schedule and get them into maybe through the end of the year already. So probably not going to see any significant trade yet. But these feedlots are a little bit harder to trade with. They're still a little unhappy about the $5 that they gave up just last week, and now that the February contract is running a couple of dollars ahead of what your December contract is on the board, they just about as soon sit and hold these things until January starts. We get that December board out of the way, and then we're looking at something more than 113 for your February, which would be the spot then. So that could be what happens, but I'm sure we'll see some more trade here before the end of the year. We had some good fundamental news again. Your actual steer weights on a dress basis dropped another 3 pounds to 913 pounds for the week ending December the 3rd, and that goes to show that we're getting through a lot of those big, heavy midsummer yearlings that went on feed, you know, weighing way up in the nines, a lot of them coming off the Flint Hills and places, and they did really well, and of course it wasn't that hard to make those things weigh 1,500, 1,600, and the guys did, but we're getting through those cattle now, and we should see these weights start progressively getting lighter and lighter, which will help let us know that we're getting really current on the market ready supplies right there. Slaughter so far for the week has been pretty decent for a week leading up into the holidays, where we've got a shortened kill schedule. 456,000 through Thursday, which is down just 7,000 from a week ago, but up 9,000 from the same week a year ago. Look at your cash feeder cattle markets. El Reno, Oklahoma had a big run there, 12,500 head on Wednesday, with feeders moderating out, not as much higher as they were earlier in the week at similar type sales, but feeders selling steady to firm, maybe spots up to $2 higher on some big heifers. But calves $1 to $6 lower, and the calves in the Southern Plains have been selling cheaper all week there. But you know, we noticed that in a lot of the sales in the Midwest and in the Plains too, that some of your pure hedgers, your big corporate pure hedgers, are turning more to the heifers, and they're putting out heifer orders, and it's helped the market on heifers. We saw that in El Reno, we saw it all over Missouri and up in the Northern Plains too. But you know, we got the farmer feeders coming into the market now because they've got their bins full of corn, and probably every truck that they own full too. But they prefer steers. They want to feed what they want to feed, and it's their deal. They can do what they want. So you get some of these pure hedgers that are basically going through the motions. They don't have any preference for quality, really, color or anything like that, or sex. So they just about as soon buy something else. And we're getting where these cattle really feed well, especially this time of year when it's cool. And if you've got a heifer that'll feed like a steer, is going to bring exactly the same when they're fat. So why not just go ahead and head some heifers there? But and you can deliver heifers now too if you decide to do that. So that's another thing I noticed this week is a lot of those pure hedgers moving into the heifers. But look at a quote on Cattle Market Central, El Reno, Oklahoma. Had a load of 486 pound steer calves. You don't see that very often, but 105 head of them Wednesday just before 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They bring 160, 150, which is a decent price, but you know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and especially a month ago, whenever guys were still buying a lot of cattle to put out on wheat, those cattle would have easily brought into well into the 70s. So those light calves are off quite a bit this week, and not just there, they're off everywhere. Light calves haven't found near as many friends as they were finding earlier in the fall. Look at another quote there on Thursday here just after lunchtime there in Pratt, Kansas. Had a load, 51 head, and 969 pound steers bring 135.85. That is huge. That's almost 200 pounds over what the CME index is based out of, and almost $6 higher than that. So, but that just goes to show you those big cattle weighing nearly 1,000 pounds, you can still hedge those off the April board before you get that big drop off to June. But that's 3 minutes, and we'll talk to you next week.